Hello there, welcome to my channel, Maze's Life, where I'm terrible at managing money, but trying to get better. So with today's video, I wanted to go over my 2.5-year update. So yes, I believe it's month 30 of paying off debt. So I started this current debt journey in September 2023 with $71,725.67 of debt, and it is now February of 2026. So this is my overall debt picture. If you are eager or curious, if you like this type of content, then please stick around. Please give this video a like and subscribe, but let's go ahead and get started. So I have the new numbers that have changed, month to month covered up, just because it's a lot of information. It's a lot of numbers, and I don't want to overwhelm everyone, including myself. But here on the left-hand side, I have the names of all of my current debts, or the debts that I had in January. And here I have the balances. These were my previous balances as of January 8th. So they do fluctuate and change by the end of the month, either because, for instance, they could be loans that add on interest every single day, or some credit cards I pay off, or I'm trying to pay off sooner rather than others. So I kind of like snowball, but I wait until the end of the month to put extra amounts towards those debts. So my first card is my Chase Freedom card. Last month, the balance was $0. This month, the balance is still $0. Therefore, the difference is $0. The minimum payment is $0. My interest rate on this Chase Freedom credit card is 28.99%. And I do not have plans to, pay off this debt, obviously, because it's already paid off. But I also do not have plans to close this debt. And that is just simply because this is my second or third oldest line of credit, and I need older forms of credit to help my credit score, because I would like to hopefully one day buy a house. Once I buy the house, then I will start getting rid of more credit cards. But for right now, my average credit age is 4 years and 2 months, so I'm not getting rid of any lines of credit that are less than that amount. Okay, then I have my California Coast Credit Union credit card. So previous balance last month was $1,393.68. It is now $1,346 even. So that's a difference of $47.68. Even though the minimum payment is only $29, I accidentally used this card and didn't pay it off in December. So I wanted to put just a little bit extra each month, just to make up for that. But the interest rate is only 10.88%, so it's not as steep of an interest rate as this Chase Freedom card or my other cards. But I have a stretch goal this year to pay this card off December 31st. All right, gonna move this down a little bit more. And this is my USA Rate credit card. So it's the same as my Chase Freedom, where previous balance, new balance, $0, difference is $0, minimum payment is $0. And I do not plan to pay off or close out this card, because this is either my second or third oldest card. I forget which one's which. This California Coast Credit Union card is my oldest card, and so that I also will not be closing once I pay it off. But these are my 3 oldest cards. These debts they originally in September 2023 were listed in order of smallest debt to largest debt, and then again, smallest debt to largest debt for my loans. But as you can see, it's no longer in this order, because there have been debts that have come and gone since September 2023, and there have been, usage of the cards since then. So then we have my Wells Fargo credit card. So this card last month was $2,363.59. This month, as of February 8th, it is $2,338.59. It went down the minimum payment of $25. It is currently a 0% interest rate until July of 2026, and my goal is to pay it off by May 1st. The reason why I have a goal to pay it off by May 1st and not July is because when I originally took out this card, the payoff date to pay it off before the interest rate was May of 2026. Then, somewhere during my debt journey, it got extended to July of 2026. And this also, changes with my credit cards have happened with several different cards in the past. Not this Bank of America card, but I had another Bank of America card that it's now closed and no longer on the sheet, but you'll see it in a moment, where the balance got lowered. And then I believe it was this Wells Fargo card, I can't remember, but another card that is on this list, the balance, or should I say the credit limit, also got lowered. So the banks do come in and check and change things with my credit cards. Don't know why, but they do. So, and then I'll get a letter in the mail saying, this is why we lowered your credit limit, or this is why we did X, Y, and Z. So, okay. So my Citi Double Cash card, this is my first card as my goal for this year to pay it off, and that is because payoff date is sooner. So last month the balance was $2,094.28. This month, February 8th, the balance was $1,791. That's a difference of $303.28. Even the minimum payment is $41. And that is because the interest rate, now that things have changed with this interest rate is going to now jump sky high to probably around 30% in May of 2026. So my goal is to pay it off in April 1st, and that is to just give me some wiggle room in case something were to happen. I have that extra month. I should be able to pay this off no problem, and that is partly due to me starting my second job soon, but also for another reason, which we'll touch on in a second. So let me go ahead and move this down to my Discover credit card. So my Discover credit card went down $61 month to month, and that's just the minimum monthly payment. I am not putting any extra on any other cards until I have this Citi Double Cash card paid off, and then I'm going to put all my extra money on this Wells Fargo card, and then I'll take it to this Discover card. So this card does not need to be paid off before it hits the close to 30% interest rate until November 2026, but my goal is October 1st, and that is more than enough time to do so. So I'm not worried about this card or any of my remaining debts. It's only really this card, this Wells Fargo card, that I'm worried about getting paid off on time. All right, so then we have my Bank of America Unlimited card, and this card went down month to month, $57, and that is because, again, it's not my priority as of right now. It will be come the fall time because I want to get this paid off by November 1st. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 cards, those are part of my goal to pay off by the end of this year. So I have a goal to pay off 7 lines of credit, and that makes up 5 of them. But then there's my Citi Simplicity card. That went down $49, and that is the minimum payment month to month. And it does not need to be paid off, or my goal isn't to pay it off until May of 2027. So I have over a year to pay off this little bit of amount. And if I can pay off this, then I can definitely pay off this, no problem, in May. So month to month, my total credit card balances. Last month, the balance for all of my credit cards combined was $19,326.36. And now, February, it's $18,783.40, which is a difference of $542.96. If you've watched my previous debt confessions videos, then you would know that I have struggled greatly in the past paying off my credit card debt, especially in months where I do not have a second job. So this was very, very happy to see that this went down. It's not as much as it goes down during the summer months when I have my second job, but this is immense progress from where I have been in the past. Okay, so now I'm going to scooch this up just a little bit. We're going to go over my loans. So my Vivint loan is my home security loan. Last month, the balance was $331.34. This month, the balance is $294.18. That's a difference of $37.16, and that's because my interest rate is 0%. This loan is scheduled to be paid off October 27th of this year. Then I have my student loan. So my student loan, I did not calculate that. Okay, so my student loan last month was $9,517. This month it's $9,407.55. I wrote down the wrong difference because that was the difference from last month. And let me just quickly add up what the difference is this month. So this month, the difference is $92.62. I wonder if I have my whiteout near me. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I had to find my whiteout. So the difference that this student loan reduced was by $92.62, which, if you can see here, my minimum payment is $125.40. So a little bit of it did go to interest, and the interest rate, I have 5 different student loans, and they range from 4.2% to 4.8%. I believe it's 2 are 4.2, 1 is 4.28, and then 2 are 4.8. And those student loans are scheduled to be paid off 10 years from when I got the loans, which would be August 2033. But with the COVID student loan forgiveness, I'm not sure if that date is still accurate, but hopefully I can pay this off before then. My goal is to not pay it off before I buy a home, but to pay it off, a year or two afterwards. So then now we're going to move on to my auto loans. Well, my one auto loan. So last month, the balance was $5,532.39. This month, the balance is $5,262.40. So it went down the balance by $269.99. And you can see here that my minimum payment is more than that. It's $286.65. And that is because I have a 3.94% interest rate. And this car is suspected to get paid off. Well, not suspected. The loan ends in September 2027, so a year and a half from now. So that is my student loan, my auto loan. I am not sure if I'm going to pay this off early. We'll see when the time comes. We'll see December 31st when I start to make my New Year's resolutions for next year. We'll see what I plan to do for that. Then I have my personal loan. So my personal loan, if you all remember, last month I asked everyone if you all thought that I should just go ahead and pay this $616.10 off. And that was because my minimum payment is $553.88. It's been my worst line of credit to date. It's such a large payment. It takes up so much of my money. And when I first got the loan taken out, it was towards the end of the month, and I had to then continuously every single month pay off this personal loan, which is it's a debt consolidation loan. I had medical debt, credit card debt, just a whole bunch of different other debts. And then I had a little bit of money extra left over, so then I would just spend it even though I shouldn't have been. And so I would have to pay this card off around like the 27th or the 29th of every single month, I had to then send a payment for $553.88. And if you haven't watched any of my budget videos, I only get paid once a month. So there came a time about 6 months after I took out this loan where I did not have that money in my bank account at the end of the month. I did not have that $550. So I called up Happy Money Loans, and I asked if I could change my date to instead pay it off at the beginning of the month. And they did. So instead, this loan has changed the payment date to the 3rd of every month. And so that's why I asked. I said, should I just go ahead and pay it off? Because when I was looking at my my online statement, it said I only needed $621. Either I pay $621 in my next payment, or I'll pay $616 now, something like that. And everyone said to pay off this loan, except for 2 people who are always in my comments, who I really appreciate, Linda and Terry. And they said, no, do not pay off this loan because I still have my credit cards to worry about. And specifically this second card. I totally forgot about this second card that needs to be paid off by May 1st. So I had decided not to pay off this loan because of the second card that needed to get paid off May 1st. So then, my surprise, when January 29th comes and I get a late notice that this had to have been paid off January 29th, which was my original payoff date. I thought that because I extended my payment date to the 3rd of the month, I did not have to pay this off. But I ended up still having to pay this off on my original payoff date. So, even though my plan was to not pay off this personal loan, you can see that it got paid off anyways, and I was not expecting that. So my previous loan balance was $616.10. It's now $0. That's a difference of $616.10, but you see here with my minimum payment. So I was not getting any alerts, but they had been trying to pull this $616 out of my bank account for a couple of days. And I didn't get an alert from my bank. I didn't get an alert from Happy Money Loans. All I got was an email saying you're 4 days late. And so I thought it was a spam email. And so I go open up a new tab. I go to the website and it says, no, you're 4 days late. And I call them and they're like, you're 4 days late. So you actually have to pay extra interest for every day that you were late. And if I had paid on time, it would have been like $621. But you can see I had that extra dollar or so of interest because of being, I believe it was 4 days late. So even though this did not go to, as planned, I still, at the very least, no longer have this loan. And I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I no longer have to worry about this loan ever again. Oh my goodness, I hated this loan. Yes, so that was a very big mistake. When I called them over the phone, I was like, is this gonna hurt my credit? And he said no. He said if I pay it off within 30 days, they will not report it to my credit union or credit bureaus or however it's called. But oh my goodness. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna pay it. And because I got paid on January 29th. And yeah, so that is a huge milestone for me, financial milestone, because now I am able to roll over the $553 payment every single month into this card up here, these 2 cards. And that's how I know for sure I'll be able to pay off this pay off this Citi Double Cash credit card by April 1st, because of this payment plus the extra that I'm able to send to this card every single month, you know, regardless of this, if I had this payment or not. Now, this Wells Fargo card, that's a different story, but I'm not going to even think about it. So now let's just move on. Sorry for this long story, long rant. But my total loan debt balances last month was $15,980. This month it's $14,964.13, which is a difference of $1,015.87. It had never reached the 1,000 mark before, but because I had to put extra towards this personal loan, it's a difference of over $1,000 in my loan section for my loan balances. So my total debts last month was $35,306.36. And this month it is $33,747.53, which is a difference of $1,558.83. And I'm so happy about that. This is, like I said, something that I was not always able to do, especially in previous years when I didn't have a second job. And this was also just a huge milestone just because of this personal loan debt. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I hated this loan so much, and now I no longer have to talk about it. So in keeping to that trend, no longer having to talk about it, I have added it to this page. So this is my overall debt picture with my closed out accounts for the accounts and the different debts that used to be on my debt tracker from since September 2023. I've had more debts than this. I've had store credit cards, jewelry credit cards, other loans, just a bunch of other things. But these debts at one point in time, you have seen me talk about on this video on my debt confessions and debt pictures. And now you can see my personal loan. Close out date was January 2026. You can see I worked on this pre-September 2023, but closed it out January 2026. And here, this balance paid off amount, this is how much I paid off as of, as of September 23 to January 2026. The original loan amount was for $20,000. But during this time period, I paid off $13,879 of the balance. Obviously, it was much more than that because of interest, but this is how much of the balance got paid off. I'm so happy. Okay. So then, moving down, we have the next little sheet paper, and this is my cute little debt picture tracker. So I get this debt-free land tracker from Debt Free Charts. I'll have them linked in the description below. And you can see here that my total debt that I started off with is $71,725.67. Each box, and there are 100 boxes, is worth $718. And this is the progress that I've made since September of 2023. So I'm going to now, because I didn't already, calculate how many boxes I can now pay off. So let's do 71,725.67 minus, how do I calculate that? I forget this every month. Do I minus my new debt balance? 33,747.53. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me put this right here so I can see. Okay, so if I do that, that's a difference of $37,978.14 that I've paid off. Okay, each box is worth $718. That means I can color in 52 boxes. That's what exactly I'm gonna do. So this is the 50% point. I got there last month. And now, 2.5 years in, I'm at 52% of the way. And it took me 2.5 years to get to this point, but the rest of this should only take me 1.5 years. Fingers crossed, God willing, God hoping. How's the saying go? It goes something like that. But yes, here is my debt tracker. So now, I'm so happy. We're gonna move on over to my loans. So my loans, oh, I normally don't have it in this order, but oh well. So my loans, I started off September 2023 with $41,099.62 of loans. As of this month, I only have $14,964.13 worth of loans, which means that I have paid off $26,135.49 of my loans. There's 100 boxes. Each box I have listed being worth roughly $411. So that means I can color in 63 boxes. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is 75, this is 74, 73, 72, 71, 70, 69, 68, 67, 66, 65, 64, 63, 62, 63. Duh. Whoops, is that right? I feel like I should be able to color in more boxes than this, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Let me just double check. 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, there's 2 boxes. 2 boxes. And I am so happy about it. I hope to never hear the words happy money ever again. That was my biggest mistake, that loan. Okay. Alrighty. And that is my debt tracker for all of my loans. So student loans, auto loans, personal loans, and my home security Vivint loan. Again, I'll have these trackers linked in the description, but the website has over 100 different types of trackers, and you can go through and see which ones you want. Majority of them are free. That's why they're called, well, no, they're debt-free charts to be debt-free, but majority of them are free, especially the ones that are done by Heidi Nash. I think she has a sister or a daughter or someone who does some faith-based challenges, and the faith-based challenges you have to pay for, but these debt trackers, you can get them individually. A lot of them, if not most of them, are for free. You can see there's just little differences. Like I paid off my loans, and you can write in the my loans part. You can write on anything. This one's credit cards. This one just says debt-free land. I have one that I use for savings. Like I said, religious charts as well. Love them. All right, so then we have my credit cards. So my credit cards, I started off with $30,626.05 worth of credit card debt. I now have $18,783.40 of credit card debt, which means that I have paid off $11,840.65. You can see that I have had several gaps and mistakes along the way, so I am not as far along or near the halfway point as I am with my total debt and my loans, but I have been making significant progress. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep it at that. So each box I have worth $307, which means I can have 38 boxes colored in. So let's go ahead and get that colored. Let's see, after green, it is orange. 26, 27, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, Why did I grab green? It's supposed to be orange. Okay, now that's my count. Okay, 25, 26, 27, 28, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can color in 2 boxes. Hopefully now that I have gotten much better with my finances and my financial discipline, I will be able to get on a roll of paying off this credit card debt. I kind of have noticed that I have these paces that I'm able to color in every single month. And so far, it looks like the credit card debt I'm able to color in about 2 boxes every single month now that I'm ahead of the game. So hopefully I can keep that up. Alrighty. So that is it. Long video, sorry about that, but that is the breakdown of my now $33,747.53 of debt. Came a long way from almost $72,000. Even just this month, I had some mistakes or some challenges, if you will. But thank you for following along. If you stayed to the end of the video, I'd love to have you join this debt-free journey with me. So hit subscribe, click the like, leave a comment down below if you would like. But my next video will be out on Sunday or Monday. And if you would like to leave a comment down below, I'd greatly appreciate it. But other than that, thank you. And until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.